Okay. What are we calling this? Blind tasting with Amy and Nicole?
Sure.
Okay. This is blind tasting with Amy and Nicole. I'm Amy.
Oh, hi. It's recording. Nicole.
We're going to blind taste 2 wines today that Peter's going to set us up with. Come here. You want to say hi?
Hey there.
I'm Amy. I'm a master of wine. I'm based in Solvang. My husband and I own a winery. It's called Holspolis. That's my husband.
Hi, Nicole. Former somm from New York. Currently work for Stoltman Vineyards, formerly Union Square Cafe and Jean Georges.
There's no one that hates blind tasting more than me, and there's maybe no one that loves blind tasting more than you. We are going to taste 2 wines set up by Peter, where Nicole is going to blind taste in the CMS style. That's the Court of Master Sommeliers. Every time you say CMS, I never know what it is still to this day.
Great.
And I have to remind myself that it's the Court of Master Sommeliers.
It's a court. We know just not a lot of courts these days. We're trying to keep it going.
There are not a lot of courts. And I'm going to taste in the Master of Wine style. So Nicole's going to be speaking, talking you through your analysis, and I'm going to get the fuck out and go be writing up my analysis. And then we're going to come back together and we'll talk through the wine and hope that you guys can try to guess what the wine is. We're going to give a little pause. Do you want to give a very short tutorial on how to taste like a master sommelier? What is required in the master sommelier exam? Because you have a grid that's much more, I would say, rigorous. The MW doesn't define everything that you have to do, but I'll talk about that. But give this a hot minute.
Yeah, so I'm not a master sommelier, by the way, but Court of Master Sommeliers. You go through kind of everything from the site, which people usually blow through, which I think is super important, visual cues from the wine. Then you're going to do the nose, and you kind of have to get points for everything with there. On the palate, what you're tasting, what the alcohol is, acid, all that good stuff. And then if there's anything that's disjointed between what you smell and what you taste, that could be another clue. And then you kind of go through and list all your possibilities. You cast a really wide net, and then you narrow it down, and you should be able, if terroir is real, to get down to the vintage and the village and the grape variety and all that kind of stuff and assess quality level.
And can you download the grid from the CMS website?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Okay, so I'll just put a link to here. So then the MW style, we have to hit, color. I would say you have to hit. What you need to do is hit the most important points in order to identify the wine. And it is very important from the MW point of view that you have an observation, and that observation leads you to a conclusion. So we don't describe everything and then get to a conclusion at the end. It's a little like, this is a light-bodied, high-acid red wine, pale in color, and therefore it could be Pinot Noir, Mondouse, Gamay.
Well, ours is technically supposed to be deductive as well, right? You're not like, oh, this smells like Syrah. You don't work backwards. You're supposed to be kind of like that. It's what you're saying, based on evidence.
Okay.
Right?
I might learn something from you in this process. The idea is that we're going to do this every week, I hope. Yeah, and learn something about wine. WSET, because Nicole and I have been having these conversations about how WSET differs from CMS and differs from MW. A lot of people think that WSET is the Master of Wine program. It is not. They're completely separate programs, but the Master of Wine requires you to have gone through the WSET program and to have completed diploma before you apply to the MW program. And that's because I think a lot of people were getting into the MW program and they were just not getting through it. I am one of those people who never took WSET, but also took me 7 years to get through the program. Now people get in and they're moving through it because they have a lot more experience. I was flailing. It was a disaster until it wasn't. WSET tasting is much more descriptive. I would say that you have to have a certain number of aromas, flavors. Like in the MW program, if you're it's cherry fruit, it points to Pinot Noir, and you're right, then you're right. And you don't have to name cherry, boysenberry, earth, raspberry, pomegranate. You don't have
mulberry.
I don't.
Everyone always forgets mulberry.
Have you ever had a mulberry?
No, never.
Have you ever had a gooseberry?
No, blackcurrant though I did try to take off so I could be actually accurate, but
Well, I've only had a dried blackcurrant. Have you ever had a fresh one?
Yeah.
Oh, I've never had a fresh blackcurrant. Where'd you get that?
tastes like Cabernet. Farmer's Market in the city, Union Square Cafe.
In the city.
In the city, the only city.
You have to reference.
Cut all of the New York stuff out. Yeah. But that's the thing too. We were also talking the difference of studying for an exam and being exam ready. I haven't tasted in, I sat for the MS in 2023. I'm rusty. I'm not on the floor anymore. So just to say that these are 2 very specific instances of tasting. I do believe that anybody can become a really good blind taster, and kind of once you start learning the formats, then you can kind of just go off piste and make it a little more jazzy and just kind of like you're saying, cherry, it's got to be this, so a little less formal.
And one of the other things I just realized is that, I mean, I guess I knew this, but I never actually saw what the testable wines were until you sent it today. So the MW, you can test on anything, but there are parameters, where if it's the MS, there are no parameters. They put 6 wines in front of you. Is it 3 reds, 3 whites?
Yep.
But no dessert wines, no sparkling.
No, they'll test that in kind of other segments.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the MW, there's 36 wines over 3 days, and the first day is white, the second day is all red wines, and the third day is what they call mixed bag, but it tends to be dessert and sparkling.
They call it mixed bag.
They call it mixed bag. Well, it's very British thing to do.
Quite.
But they will give you parameters, because if you're able to be tested on Sirtico from Greece, that is a hard wine to pull out from, I don't know, any other high acid, very low fruit intensity kind of,
saline
wine. I was going to say, did not want to say that word.
Minerality.
Yeah, but I've been struggling with it. Yeah,
that's a whole episode.
So for the MW, they would say the following 3 wines are all from the same country, made from 3 different grape varieties, or are all from different countries. Or sometimes they tell you nothing, but a lot of times they will give you a little bit of like a hint, because you almost can't. I don't know who could pass the exam without being able to find your way in the entire world of wine.
Right.
Over 36 wines. It's a lot.
It's insane.
It's insane. Why would we even I can't even believe sometimes. I can't even believe I did that. I can't believe sometimes that you're still studying. Like you're not burned out.
No, I don't know.
You're not burned out on blind tasting.
I love blind tasting. Some of the other stuff can get a little,
Yeah.
but I think it's just years of having my attitude change about it. When you're first learning, it's kind of more frustrating and you're like, I don't know, it smells like red wine. And competitive type A kind of person would get mad when I didn't get things right. And now I'm of the opinion where it's not, because there is so much differentiation and so much variety. I don't get mad anymore. There's no blind tasting. Every time you sit down, you learn something new, even if you get it wrong. That means the next time I come up against that wine, there might be like a ding, ding, ding. Oh, wait, I did this last time and I said X and I should have said Y. So I feel like as long as you have a good attitude about it, like it's fun. It's like it's a reindeer game.
Yeah, that's a really good point. When you taste something wrong, if you're blind tasting for an exam, you should be making notes of like I thought this was Sancerre, but it was Chablis. Now I need to taste Sancerre next to Chablis in perpetuity until I don't get it wrong.
Right. Where did I go wrong?
Where did I go? Yeah, and where did it? Sometimes you'll look at your notes, or you'll even listen to yourself, and what you will have done is built a note for Barolo, and then you end up on Burgundy on the other side because you take a left-hand turn at the conclusion.
Right.
Or I've been known to do that most of the time. Okay. I think we're going to invite Peter in. Oh, wait, I want to say one more thing. One of the things that we noticed was that some of the wines that are not testable at CMS, Peter noticed today when he read through that list. I don't know if he had a South African Chenin Blanc that he wanted to show us, but he said we can't. Oh,
He's so mad about the Steen.
He's
really mad about the Steen.
He's steaming about the Steen.
He is.
I think this is what it is. And Washington Pinot Gris. What else did you see?
That used to be on there. The Washington Pinot Gris used to be on there. I feel like there was another thing that they took off too, which is good because like you're saying, you kind of have to have some parameters, a little bit. But yeah, I think it's really like we're testing classic wine. So that's the idea, is like they should be classic, and then you can kind of go off piste and just be able to evaluate a wine. But for you to get it, it's supposed to be something that year in, year out, kind of there is a through thread.
Is White Zinfandel a classic?
Depends who you ask. I mean, maybe of an older generation.
If you ask the MW program, we can be tested on that, and often are.
Yeah, luckily we don't have to drink that. Regular Zinfandel or Tribby Drag.
Fucking Tribby Drag. Yeah,
so.
Right. Peter, we want to call Peter in. What we're going to do is I'm going to leave the room and go write my little MW notes. Nicole's going to stay here and talk out loud. So we're both just going to get 2 minutes. Because in the MW exam, what you should do is you should write your note in 2 minutes, your tasting note in 2 minutes, and then write your argument, because it's all written, right? You have to write your argument. You have about 9 minutes then to write out your argument of what it is. But I should be able to tell you what I think it is in 2 minutes.
Okay.
I'm going to get this wrong.
It's great.
Okay.
Well, CMS, 6 wines, 24 minutes. You can divide up your time however you want. Go straight down the line, or kind of pick what you think you can nail and then kind of go from there. So
we don't want to see the bottle shape.
I'm not looking at it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't look.
You ever been in a blind tasting group and someone's like, blind tasting, and they pass around like a Riesling bottle, and you're like, oh, we know what it is
Yeah, of
now.
course. Or like leave the foil on the top, or gross giveaways. I have to look. Why are you don't like?
Because I can't.
I cannot look. Just look fade in the distance.
I'm going to go. You
Oh, don't. No, no, no.
I'll see you later.
Ay.
Pete, you gotta let us know when we. Oh, I've got. Your
I also need a white piece of paper, if you don't mind.
You want me to literally set a 2-minute timer?
Yeah, yes, honey. You know how this works.
We're starting 1, 2, 3, now.
Wine number 1 is a clear white wine with a pale core with hints of yellow going out to a watery rim. No gas, sediment, or particles. Viscosity, I think they call this just tears now, but I learned it as viscosity. Looks to be medium plus. On the nose, the wine is sound. The wine is youthful with a medium plus intensity. A lot of Meyer lemon, very floral, white flowers, acacia blossom, a little jasmine, honeysuckle. There's a little bit of like a green herbal character, maybe like a little bit of a chive blossom as well. But yeah, like lemon curd, a lot of riper citrus, really heavy floral component as well. If it was CMS, I should be get as many descriptors as you can, but I'm going to kind of move on from that. But you want to focus on the fruit and then all the other stuff you're tasting. So this is more floral driven, a little bit of herbaceousness, riper style citrus on the palate. No spit buckets at Amy's, I guess. The wine is dry with a high acid, really juicy, medium plus body, medium plus alcohol, no phenolic bitterness, no evidence of any oak or any wood. The fruit's confirmed on the palate. It's moving a little bit. The fruit's a little bit more lean on the palate, a little bit more kind of lemon zest, lemon peel, lime blossom. Holy shit, that's 2 minutes. Okay, we get like 4. Can you tell Amy she's done and can I keep going? Okay. Wine is medium plus to high complexity. No evidence of any oak on the palate. The wine has a long finish. The wine is in balance. Initial conclusion, this is Riesling from Austria, Gruner Veltliner from Austria, Sauvignon Blanc from France. Maybe I would throw in Alvarinho as well from Spain, Ria Spicious. 1 to 3 years old, good quality. I feel like I'm blowing this, but final conclusion, this is Sauvignon Blanc from France, from Sancerre, a good quality producer. I would say 2022 vintage. Okay, I think so. Sorry, the 2 minutes shook me a little bit. Sorry, I feel like that was really shitty. But
What do you mean? What was shitty?
I don't know, my tasting, but that's okay. There's no bad tastings. We said that.
So did you give them your conclusion?
I did.
Okay. So you talked through yours. I want to show what my notes, what my crazy looks like.
I mean, you could read that. I feel like let's just give it points.
Okay, this is me. So this is the Pat Farrell way of tasting wine, right? This is his kind of little grid setup. So color goes here, aromas go here, body, acid, alcohol, tannin, winemaking, and quality. I forgot to talk about quality until the very end. And then palate flavors here. So I've got medium straw. I had like a peach, maybe black pepper spice, medium bodied, high acidity, 13.5. I think the alcohol could have been a little bit higher. It was phenolic. This was fucking bitter and phenolic, and I struggled with it. I think the skin contact thing is there. There's no new oak, but it had muted fruit intensity. So that leads me to believe that there was some neutral oak. And I thought it was a little creamy leaves, but it was like apple, mineral, saline, but the bitterness. I was like, is this Pinot Blanc? Is this Gruner Veltliner? Is it Riesling? I ended up talking myself into it having a lentil character. Gruner Veltliner, Austria.
I think I got distracted and then in all of that like didn't say Gruner even though I thought Gruner. So I was very like in Austria. I don't know if who knows, play it back. Gruner Veltliner from Austria. If I said that, but yeah, there is definitely like a green component. There is like a little bit of a Leasy component, but I feel like the Riesling, they always talk about that like Riesling versus Gruner versus that kind of greenness with the Leasies with the neutral oak. I also thought of maybe like a riper vintage of Sancerre.
Totally.
So
I did think about Sauvignon Blanc, but then thought we would never have Sauvignon Blanc. My husband would never serve that.
Well, that's the other thing. I was like, there's like I'm like reviewing Amarone.
I'm kidding.
I'm reviewing Amarone today. I'm like, well, that's not going to happen. No, but I feel like the greenness from the Gruner, like I totally get that with the kind of like lees. It's really floral to me. That's the thing. And the acid is like elevated. The alcohol a little bit elevated too. Like it's ripe. Like it's not so super lean, which is why like that Sancerre thing, like maybe Gruner.
Could this be modern style Albarino, which I also considered but did not write down because it has a peachy thing. It was more floral. It's definitely more floral now that even it's warmed up.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. And so I'm wondering if I talked myself into the black pepper lentil thing.
So I feel like that's a good call. I feel like this wine seems like it's very well made. No shade to like Alvarinho, but it just seemed like a little bit more classy.
You think it could be a fancy fucking Albarino?
Could be maybe I
Speaking
haven't drank
of
enough.
something,
Thank
people
you
are
for
oaking
reminding me.
Albarino now sometimes.
Right. And then for CMS,
Oh.
I don't think oaked Albarino is testable. It's more the kind of classic version.
Did you get oak on this wine? I didn't get any, but now in the end, sometimes oak is, I mean, lees can be, you get that body and texture, but now I'm almost like, is there a weird
It's got a
vanilla
phenol-
thing? It's
got
so
a
phenolic.
thing, yeah.
It's killing me.
I think
So
I said no phenolic bitterness though. Which
Oh
is
my
great.
God.
No alcohol, no phenolic bitterness. No.
I don't know if I'm so
I don't
sensitive
think.
to
I
it.
don't think like. Okay, but what's like phenolic Pinot Blanc? I don't think this is that because it's not neutral enough.
I felt like the acidity was too high. Did you find the acidity
was high, so that's why I went Riesling, and then that's why I went kind of the Sauvignon Blanc.
Yeah, well, I was
Gruner
between
too.
Riesling and Gruner, and then
If you say Gruner, you have to go. It's from Wachau, Consol.
yeah, but
okay.
you know what? And you make a dumb argument for why it's from one of these places. And what generally ends up happening is when you're in the program, you're talking to other students, and someone goes, "The Wachau has." I'm making this up. The Wachau has kind of like the difference between Meursault, Polini Marmochet, and Chisagna.
Sure.
Which are so based on producer. People are like, Meursault, it's broad and hazelnutty. Chisagna is fat and rich, and Polini is like linear. But so, I mean, the difference between these, it's like when I tasted this, because we visited Rudy Pichler.
Well, that was the other thing. This is a very pro-Austrian wine household.
Well,
so
only because we
when
went to
in doubt,
Austria.
go
So,
there.
I mean, look, I don't know what I would have called this, but when I was like, this can't be Gruner. I don't get that many phenolics. And then I thought, oh, some people do skin contact
Little bit,
Gruner,
yeah.
and Pichler definitely does that. But anyway, we should find out what this is. Peter, do you want to come step into frame?
So wait, let's do this. Would you
Yeah.
would you stick with your call? Would you stay with Gruner?
Yeah, because I'm so out of practice. My other options were Viognier and Gewürztraminer, not nearly as aromatic enough for either of those, but it was the bitterness. When I smelled it, I thought it's Riesling, a
Yeah.
little bit Riesling-y. And then I thought Riesling can't give this many phenolics.
No.
But maybe it can. Wait, where did you went?
I think I was in the Riesling and then I thought Gruner. I don't remember if I said it.
Okay.
You can go to the tapes and then check it, fact it, run it back. Gruner Veltliner from Austria. I think I ended up with a Sancerre Riper year.
Oh, Sancerre Riper. Okay.
22 Sancerre.
Ready?
Oh, I didn't even give a. And what was your quality level, by the way? I think this was the finish
Good.
was nice
6
and
wine.
long.
There's a lot of,
So-
complexity.
yeah.
Good wine.
So the wine is Gruner Veltliner,
Oh,
2021,
okay.
Leubner Leuvenberg.
Okay. Yeah, he just does a little skin contact stuff
Mhm.
too.
For the Smirnoff.
And Schmarov.
Like
So
the
that's where we're
Schmarov.
getting all that right richness
Yeah.
from. Good job.
What do you think? Well, I mean, look. The other thing is,
I'm not mad with that. No, but I think that's great. And again, like just that it seemed too much of a well-made, too much of a high quality complex wine to be Albarino.
yeah. Okay. Well, no shade to Albarino.
Yeah.
Okay, we need new glasses, and then this next one, we're just gonna shout at each other. All right, I'm looking down. No
So
one's
this
looking.
is that's pretty cool. Your little grid there. But again, but this is like how you would be graded.
No, they never see this.
Oh,
Yeah.
What do they
never
see then?
this. So what would happen is, let me write it out. I'll write it out later, and then I'll put it on
Okay.
the camera.
but you're saying it's more about that argument as opposed to like for us where it's like I was at a loss of like shit. Say other things that are citrus besides not lemon. You know, like we have
Right.
to. You get a point for each. You really are just supposed to be like as descriptive. So that's why sometimes people will just throw things in where it's like. You know, I kind of like the more truncated version of like, okay, like, well, what's the gist here?
Yeah.
What are we really getting at? You know?
Well, I'll show you an example of a note later, actually, because I didn't make that clear in this. Yeah, they would never see. It's too blown out, but they would never see this.
Never.
This is you have to turn in your scratch paper at the end, but they will never see it. Okay, this is called Amy and Nicole Scream at Each Other, and we are going to taste this wine. Peter, give us how many seconds do you want?
Seconds.
30 seconds?
No, I want a minute. I'm a thinker. I'm a philosopher. I want to get into it.
But you're not going to talk out loud,
No,
and I'm not going to do
use
anything.
my
I'm not going
inside
to write.
brain. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many minutes? A minute?
How much time do you want for?
I can do one, but I would like 2 minutes to just
Okay.
think.
All right.
All right, 2 minutes, starting now.
Who's going to win? Who's going to win?
We're all winners, I was told. Are you copying me?
Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing.
Very, very distracting.
Obvious.
Is it? I feel like I know it, but I'm like,
Oh.
I don't think you're supposed to have an orgasm for the.
I'm not having an orgasm. What I'm doing is I'm a fire-breathing dragon right now.
Tasters, you have 1 minute left.
Thank you.
Someone's a fan of the Great British Bake Off.
What's her name? Like Mary Pettibottom or something? What is it?
Prue.
Oh, doesn't have someone like a very like a
Yeah.
English name?
Yes. I don't know what her name is, but who's the guy? Noel. It's usually on there.
I don't watch it. I feel like everyone hates me that I don't watch it. She's just mastered it. It's just so easy for you.
I only have one guess for this.
Okay. Should we arm wrestle? Do you really want to yell at me? I'm kind of like,
A little.
can we just say it?
Yeah, we.
Is this like
It's
therapy?
called screaming.
Okay.
Amy and Nicole scream at each other.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
I'm gonna wait for Peter to count it down.
Okay, get down the. Oh, come you about a.
That's what I said.
Oh,
This
no.
is like the filthiest. This is like
It's clean.
this is a crime scene.
Okay,
Okay.
ready?
Like,
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
shut up.
Oh, more.
Oh, you're both wrong. It's Sarah from Nicole E1.
No, wait.
Champagne,
I
2019.
didn't hear what you screamed.
I
You
said
screamed so
Sonoma
loud.
Pinot Noir. I could not hate.
Sonoma Pinot Noir?
I could not hate this wine more.
That's me.
I could not hate it more. It is oaky. It is alcoholic. There is no
That's-
way that's 13.5. It is killing me on the mouth. I'm sorry. I know Jamais is Jamais and the best of the best, but I am not a fan.
Okay.
No, the oak. Are you just smelling? I'm just smelling vanilla and more vanilla.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so now that I was sort of at least in the right part of the world. No, but I mean, it's like, that's why I said Chateauneuf de Pop. It's just like, it's very heavy, maybe just 19. Could be a warm vintage thing.
Do you know what's funny?
Sonoma Pinot Noir?
I know now, yeah, because I'm a disaster. I told you I'm not good at this. I got lucky the first time around. Now that I know what this is, I like it more. Now that I know it's Chimay, this is why
You just said you hated it.
I know. But then I tasted it again after finding out it was Chimay, and I'm like, oh, I like this wine. I mean, we're gonna have it with dinner next. This is why, like, you can't drink Coastery in a vacuum.
I would like to drink Coastery in a vacuum. If that was fiscally viable, sign me up.
We have a whole cellar full. Yeah.
Pardon us.
Yeah.
No,
like
I
it.
mean, I think
Do you not feel like it was alcoholic
It's-
and oaky?
that's why I went Chateauneuf de Pop. It's a little red fruited. It's figgy. It's kind of stewed fruit. It's a little
Yeah.
hot. Again, I don't know warm vintage. That's like a lesser appellation.
But
But I mean, if anything, it drinks more like a New World Syrah if we're going to go Syrah. But for me, this isn't in the black fruited kind of camp. There's no olive. There's no herbs de Provence. There's none of that kind of pepper and spice and bacon. It's more just a richer style. So maybe
Yeah.
just because it's a more simple wine. Again, we're talking about typicity and like the baseline quality of wine that you have to have. Not that this isn't a great producer and a great value wine, but
Not scream Northern Rhone spice.
no. But again, no bad tastings, you know? We live to fight another day.
that was terrible.
I didn't even hear what you screamed so good. I was just like, what is she saying?
Sonoma Pinot Noir. That's it. My accuracy was 100% and 0%. Your accuracy was about 50,
Men's a
50
men's.
and 90.
Alright, we'll
Yeah.
take it.
50. I mean, you were old world, a high acid kind of phenolic grape variety.
Yeah.
Come on.
Sure.
You
I
were-
should have gotten that though, but that's okay. We're gonna not
You really should have.
sleep over it.
Oh my
But
gosh, you would've.
I think I'm also really rusty though. If we do this more,
Yeah.
we'll be fucking nailing it.
Can we taste some Sonoma Pinot Noir?
No, you
Next
don't.
time?
Sonoma Coast.
I don't know. Okay, that's all we got.
What should we do?
Let's end this. Let's go have dinner. Bye.